So, are you about to go to your first therapy session? I know it can be a little bit anxiety provoking, especially if you don't know what to expect. So I want to give you a little idea of what you can typically expect. First is that the therapist or counselor will bring you in, and typically they'll go over some housekeeping things like paperwork that you signed, and also confidentiality. What you share in that space is protected. Now, typically the bulk of the first session, at least for me, is a lot of the client sharing. I ask a lot of background questions so I can get a good picture of their context so I can know how to best help them. So be prepared to share a little bit about your life, your upbringing, your family history in that first session. Also in the first session, your therapist may also allude to ways that they are going to specifically help you based off of their modality or based off of their understanding of your problem. They may share what their modality is. Some of the typical ones are like cognitive behavioral therapy, psychodynamic therapy. These are just different schools of thoughts on how to approach mental health. If this isn't clear to you, how they work isn't clear, or you have questions, or the goals or the treatment isn't clear to you, it is 100% okay to ask. One thing that you should also expect in a first session is to not have immediate relief from your symptoms. However, I will say that going to a first session can alleviate a little bit of stress and bring a little bit of relief. Some therapists are skills-based therapists, so they'll give you some specific skills that you can practice in the room or even practice at home that should help to alleviate symptoms. But just be patient with yourself and with the therapist as you start to address the problems. Another thing you should expect in a first session is to not immediately know 100% that this person is the one. It usually takes a few sessions for both you and the therapist to get a rhythm and for you to get a feel for your comfort with the therapist. So give it a few sessions, but also know if you're not feeling it, you're not married to this person. You can move on. I do want to specify, if you're feeling like something's off, or if you have questions, or if you're unsure about things, bring it up with your therapist. Let them know, because they might be able to make some tweaks that can make the therapy just right for you, but they won't know unless you tell them. It is a huge feat just to find a therapist, and an amazing step just to go to the first session. So I applaud you for being at this point. My hope is that once you get this first session under your belt, you will feel more comfortable and more at ease.